Hello and welcome back to CCSP Certified channel. Today we are starting the lecture 8, Important Laws and Standard, and we'll cover the remaining USA laws. So we took 3 lectures, lecture 6, 7 and this is 8 to cover USA laws, and it is the last lecture in the USA laws category. And this topic 5 will have more lectures. We'll cover some ISO standards and some other important laws related to the cloud and security. But for USA specific and some other privacy specific, it is a final lecture. So we'll cover remaining laws in this lecture. Also, I will share a mapping table that is very helpful for exam perspectives. So along with the concept, I will share a table that is required for the exam. So before I jump to the topic, I quickly cover my focus in this video series. Around a year and before, I started this video series, and my aim to help you get further faster in CCSP exam certificate. So what I cover high probability exam topics, difficult exam concepts, because soundness of concept is very important to clear any of the SC score exam. And I do cover questions from various sources in these video lectures. One of the important sources, my exam candidate feedback, because I do conduct classroom batches also, and the CCSP question bank definitely, and some sample question bank I refer to construct the videos, and definitely to the point discussion because it is for working professional. I try to use my vast IT knowledge of 15 years, CCSP and CISSP certificate learnings and other cloud certificate learning to make things easy for you. Many candidates ask me, and this I have repeated also, whether YouTube study is sufficient. So yes, it is free and sufficient. You don't need any other classes. But in case you want comprehensive and effective approach that has worked for me and my candidate, you may join any regular batch that I start, or you can purchase self-paced recordings also. Many of my candidate, the last lecture also I shared the two names. They clear exam with the self-paced recordings also. Then you can watch recording with your ease, and along with the recording I share content and my guidance also. So with a very nominal rate. So if you are interested, you can let me know. You can write me on the ccsp-certified@gmail.com for the same. Quickly, I cover the new batch I'm starting. This time I'm starting CISSP batch. That will from 16 December onward. It will be 2 days a week on weekends, Saturday, Sundays, 2 p.m. to 5 p.m. IST. Approx 40 hours I will cover. And it definitely is for working professional. I will share the classroom recording in case you miss any of the lectures. And also I will share the exam question and customized content covered from various sources for you. So if you are interested, you write me at the ccsp-certified@gmail.com, or you can WhatsApp me also on this one +91 India number 83700811064. So let's jump to the topic of the day. Today's topic is the three important certificate: Cloud Act, CCPA, California Consumer Privacy Act, and one ISO standard that is very important because ISO 27018, which we'll cover today, it is the first international privacy standard especially designed for the cloud providers. So if you see which is ISO standard for security is 27001. So, but for cloud, if it is 27018, and it is very first international standard for the cloud. You remember this one. So let's do a quick recap of lecture 4, which we are covered. That we'll cover some federal laws, ICPA, HIPAA, GLBA, and we mentioned that FedRAMP that we covered in the last lecture, then SCA Cloud Act, CCPA, COPPA, FERPA. These are very important for exam perspective. One question comes from here also. So this section we'll covering today, the last line. So FedRAMP we covered in the last lecture, and this all we are covering today. So let's see. First we'll see SCA. SCA stands for Store Communication Act. So it came very and very in 80s it came, and actually it covers a relationship between employees and employer, and employer may read emails of employee, but they must take consent of the same. So it came in 1986 before the social media age, but now it is being used in the social media control And just important part is it is for data in rest. So any data that is stored in their database or in their mailbox or in their hard disk, it can be allowed to read under SCA, and employer may gain access of those content uh, based on these laws. So there is an amendment happened in 2018, very important, very interesting story associated with this one. So we quickly cover the amendment. Amendment is clarifying lawful overseas use of data, Cloud Act. So previously SCA grant rights to the United States federal laws enforcement to get data that is stored on the US soil by US technology companies through warrants. So via a legal warrant, any law enforcement agency like FBI can ask Facebook or Microsoft to provide the data that is stored in the US laws. But there was a case happened, and it is Microsoft versus United States. What happened in this case? FBI requested data concerning suspects in the drug trafficking investigation, and Microsoft provided emails data of that suspect from the US data center, but they denied and said they cannot give the data outside of the USA that is stored in the island data center because SCA Act does not cover that. SCA Act only covers the data stored in the US soil. So quickly, the Parliament amended the Act before the court hearing, and they added that all the data possible available to US companies on any location is allowed. That's why before the Supreme Court could make a judgment, the Act was passed quite suddenly, and Microsoft has to give the data to the API. And that was the reason this amendment happened. So we have seen in the last lecture that, and even a quick recap also, and we emphasized before also, IPCA, which is associated with the data on the motion like wire trapping or email on the exchange or any communication happening live. So this is to control that privacy, but if any data is stored in the database or mailbox covered under the SCA. So SCA is the data in rest, IPCA in the data in motion. Remember these things. Now we quickly cover CCSP, very important, very good laws, and it can be or it is eligible to become a laws of US. Currently USA does not have any nationwide laws of the privacy, but California Consumer Privacy Act is very good, and it covers everything that is required in terms of the privacy of the data. So CCSP Act that give the laws to the California citizens. So first is the first right is know why the data is being collected. Also they have rights to know whether data is sold or disclosed to anyone. They have rights to opt out the data. They can say ask to delete it. They can access their personal data. Definitely they can ask to delete data, or can they ask to protect from any discrimination like service or price on the Privacy Laws Act. So CCSP outlines the responsibility and accountability of the provisions and sections and fines that may be levied for violation of the laws. So this is very important, very good law. We don't need to go in very deep because majority of the law like GDPR, CIPA has the same clause. We just need to remember CCSP is a USA, California state laws for the security and privacy, and that is important for exam perspective. Now we quickly cover the other countries' laws. We already covered the USA's laws, and before we check the table, we quickly cover the if any laws is there in the other countries, and definitely many countries has a law, but we are interested mainly few important one like European Union. We already have seen that GDPR is the current laws. Previously it was a EU directive. Name number was 9546 EC. So it is discontinued and GDPR overtook it. So currently the GDPR is a laws of land of European Union. Argentina has passed the Personal Data Protection Act in 2000. Same way Australia in 1998. New Zealand is 1993. Switzerland has a Swiss data protection laws, and Canada very important PIPEDA, because Canada PIPEDA. And one question I have seen in few of my candidate exam that they have given the mapping question, law and the country name. So like for Australia it is very easy, and Switzerland also very easy, but New Zealand and Argentina you don't get confused. So I'm saying New Zealand has passed it before the Argentina. It's in 1993. Argentina passed in 2000, and PIPEDA is Canada. You can correlate PIPEDA Canada the same way you spell it will you will able to remember it. So PIPEDA is the laws of Canada, and the other laws you need to remember for the mapping type question. And the last very important table is very important for exam perspective. Laws and their purpose we'll quickly discuss. So we have seen that IPCA and CALEA law, and we have seen that IPCA restrict the government for wiretapping. So you cannot do the wiretapping. This law give this condition, but because API need a wiretapping for some purpose, a specific purpose, so with the appropriate court order you can do it. So this given the grant to the law enforcement agencies to the wiretapping with appropriate court order. Same we have seen that SCA and Cloud Act. SCA is employer may read the email of the employees, but only in the US soil. But Cloud Act anywhere, not only US soil but anywhere is stored. If it is a US company is storing the same. Now the next important is FERPA, Family Education Rights and Privacy Act. It provides the academic institute from sharing student data with anyone other than parents of student up to age 18 age, and or to the student after 18 age. So what academic institution do? They share the data of the students to that loan credit card companies, loan companies, coaching companies. So in India or other countries it is possible. In USA it is not possible because FERPA is a laws that restrict that academic institute to do the same. Next one is DMCA, Digital Millennium Copyright Act. It is as DIMCA. They will say DMCA and they will say copyright. So you have to map it. So you have to remember the abbreviation. DIMCA is for copyright. FERPA is for education. So DIMCA is associated with the copyright. GLBA we already have seen this. It is a Financial Privacy Act. Personal financial privacy that account balance, account number, those detail is your private data. It cannot should not be disclosed. Same way loan calling for loan is also not allowed in the USA, that they cannot call, sir, you need a loan or not, you need a credit card or not, like this. GLBA give this financial privacy. COPPA, another important one, that's child's online privacy protection rules. So any child data which is under 13 age is considered in this COPPA, and it maintains the child privacy. So it is for student privacy. It's any child privacy which is under 13 years covered under COPPA. And HIPAA high tech we already have seen associated with the health industries. So just recall this. We'll see few questions. IPCA, FERPA, DIMCA, COPPA. These 4 5 are very important, and you will see them again and again in the options of the questions. So even though there is no direct question associated with them, they might be part of your options, and you should know why they are so you can eliminate them. Otherwise, if you don't know why the COPPA is being used, you will not able to eliminate that option. They might not give the full form, they might just give the abbreviation, so you to confuse you. So don't get confused. Just remember this table, it is very important. Quickly we'll cover the ISO. We have seen this is the first privacy law. You don't need to remember the all 6 clause of this one, six key principle. Just quickly, consent that we have seen, transparent should be, process should be transparent. There should be proper control. They should be customer should be notified in case some breach and deletion required. There should be proper communication, and then it should be independently audited by third parties. If you are ISO 27018 certified, so many of the cloud providers like Google, Oracle, Microsoft, they are ISO 27018 provided certified, because it is an international cloud security laws. So it is very important for the cloud security. So this content that we have covered, we'll cover few questions quickly. First one, which US federal law affect banking and insurance company? So we have seen that that GLBA that we already have seen in the previous table, and we have seen the SOX also. SOX is also associated with the financial institutions, But the difference between SOX and GLBA, SOX is more a audit dependent, audit of any company, whether it is a financial company, software company. So it is financial report of any company, that is SOX. But specific to banking and insurance, if they ask, it is 100% GLBA. We have seen this ISO NIST 853. It is FedRAMP that we covered in the last lecture. There will be at least one question. It is selection of the security controls for the cloud. So answer is option D for this case. Bob is designing a data center to support his organization, a financial service firm. Bob's data center will have to be approved by regulators using a framework under which laws. So same question can be asked this way also. So the same financial firm, this time they were asking simply directly banking and insurance. If they are saying any financial firm that is storing data, whether it's a data center or office they are set up, they are liable under GLBA. So HIPAA is, we have already covered health. SOX we already covered audit, and PCI is not a law. So if they ask about law, PCI just a consortium or the agreement between the credit card companies. It is not a law of any land. So you can eliminate PCI very first option. Then based on the HIPAA and others, you can eliminate other options also. The answer will be option C. All of the following are the statutory regulation except the which one? So statutory matlab means they are laws by the government, and we have seen that GLBA is a laws for financial, HIPAA for health, FISMA we already covered last time. PCI DSS we just covered. It is not a law. It is just a agreement between the different credit card companies to control the data flow or to secure the data. What was the first international privacy standard specified for cloud provider? So we already have covered this ISO 27018, very important. That is very first international privacy standard for cloud. The last one, and you will able to see such type of questions. It is exam question, not directly exam question, but with some modified language. And this type of questions they ask in the exam, they make it lengthy. Like a group of clinics decided to create a identification federation. So they have introduced the single sign-on and federation concept also in this question. So clinics decided to have a identity federation of their user that include medical providers and clinicians. In this federation, all the participating organization would need to be compliance with the what US federal laws. So first we have to see whether it is US laws or not. GLBA, FMLA, PCI, DSS, HIPAA, there are four. So first, which one is not a law? USA law. PCI, DSS is not a law. That is gone. Then Family and Medical Leave Act, we haven't covered this. So we'll remove this, but I just quickly share what is Family and Medical Leave Act. It is provide the rights to the employees that that medical leave should be granted by the employer. So that is not required here, and that whatever we have not covered is not very important for exam perspective. So you can eliminate those options in the exam which is not covered in the classes because they are out of syllabus, added just for the distractor purpose. Now we have GLPA and HIPAA. So this is for medical providers and medical industries. It is not a banking system they are developing, federation they are developing. So GLBA is also out. So we have only option left is HIPAA. HIPAA may be applicable because this is the group of medical providers and medical institutions. They are participating in the federation. So they have given scenario of the federation, but they have asked question on the US laws. And as I mentioned this, if you know the table, you know the which laws is important for which purpose, you will able to eliminate the options and you can give the answer in the exam. So at least one question will be there from this topic. So that's for today. Next lecture will be on the how US and Europe do the business. Very important for exam perspective. Please don't miss this. In case you like my channel, in case you like my videos, please like my channel, subscribe my channel. Thank you. Thank you so much for watching this.